program. On today's show, we visit with Inuvik elder Ishmael Alunik, who tells of his life story while growing up in the northern Yukon and in the Delta area as well. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the program.
I'm Ishmael Alunik, and I just turned 75 about a few days ago, and I learned how to trap from my parents that were Isaac and Sarah Alunik, John's grandparents, and it was 1928 or 27. I was about 4 years old, and it was springtime, rats coming out along the shore of the lake, and they have a hole to go in, bank hole. I had about 3 traps, I guess, and number 1 traps. What I do is I was not very strong that time. I had to use a stick like that to step on the spring of the number 1 trap and press it down and set the trap. And then I put it in the hole, and that spring I caught about a 50-pound sack of muskrats trap in Crow Flats Lakes. I was really young. I learned how to trap since about 69 years ago, I think. That's quite a while ago. And from there on, I didn't trap for quite a while. I just learned from my grandfather. My parents were going to Crow Flats again for trapping rats, and that time after close season was on June 15, I guess. We had dogs. We had a 2 team of dogs and lots of pack dogs and 1 good-sized toboggan. Right from the Crow Flat toward the mountains, we started there. It took us about maybe 2 weeks, I guess, to reach Head Point where my grandparents was. We walk every day. It's a little hard for me, 4 years old, and our parents, they know that I was a little bit too young. I had 1 sister and 1 brother named John, and Margaret. Their dad packed them and their mum packed the other one, and me, I was 4 years old, and like the kids running around here in town, once they start running around all day, they get used to it, they don't get tired anymore. But first day was really hard for me. Even now we travel, must be about 4 miles, I guess. It's quite a long way, just as far as from here to the graveyard or halfway to the airport. Footing was good, and we start early in the morning with frost on snow, and put the dogs on the harness and all this frost on early in the morning. The toboggan was not so hard. But first day, my grandmother, Sarah, old Abraham, our dad's his father, his mother, my grandmother, she walked along with me, and I get so tired, I just cried sometime when they hold my hand. They said, "They're going to catch up, Dad. They can't go very far." So it was really hard for me for about 2 days, 3 days in a way. After 3 days, 4 days, I didn't have to have my grandmother holding my hand to take me over the hills, and we go across the river sometime, and quite a high mountain sometime. It was quite a bit high mountains on there, between Babbage and Head Point on there, maybe about 3,000 feet from the sea level or more. So I walk right down to Head Point, and then I never went back again because it was too tough for me. Next time my grandparents went out, I I just left behind with my grandfather and grandmother, my mom's dad and his father. This is how my grandfather taught me how to make a log trap. That's about 1937, I think. I went along with him. This was along the hills, as the sky, the clouds. These are logs about this high, about over a foot, maybe pretty big. And these they won't go apart. They stick it down to the ground. And this one here, there's a big log here, and there's logs here, logs here, logs here, logs here, and logs here. Here's a wolf, call it a wolf. Here's a pin there that's this little pin here. It's made so that it would slip off easy like that. And it's looped around another pole over here under the tree, and here's a bait. And the animals start biting this thing here. They would pull this line, and the log trap just catch on to whatever. It's a really deadfall, they call it. I don't know what they call it in Inuvialuit, or some other thing. And once they pull this bait, this little thing here, you're just ready to tie it on from the other one. Catch that fur is dead all at once. And from there on, I just go with my grandfather, learn how to set traps for foxes, and I don't know if I catch any foxes or not. Mostly use dogs, make 2-hour trips down to the ocean side and set traps, and I learned how to set traps on top of the boulders, put the number 1.5 or number 1.5 or number 1 right on top of the boulder, and put a little seal or some kind of bait on it. I just learned how to do everything there, mostly from my grandfather, my mom's dad. He taught me quite a bit, old traditional ways, old Stone Age, part Stone Age. It was, they had, by that time, they got everything like guns and nets and everything, rifles. But their grandfathers and their grandfathers were living in the time Neolithic, that's Stone Age, living how they make a living with just bone or carve something, and just living out of the, with no white man's hunting things there. So I've been trapping quite a long time. When our father died, had an accident at Head Point, so we moved up to the Delta. My grandparents were living in Delta already anyway, and my other grandparents, Abraham and Sarah, they were living around there too in the Delta, so we had to move up to Delta, and there I started to make a living of my own. That's where I got my trap line. This side of each branch, they open season till about April 15. We'll be trapping around there for a while yet. There's hills there, and the gas line is on the other side, just on the other side a little bit. Here's the bank here. There's some trees and some snowdrifts there, and there's a bank here, and there's some willows here. This is a lake. What I do is, on the push-ups are still sticking up, I stake them like that, so even the snow covered them right up, you still could find push-ups. And these are the tracks of this link here. Is following another link here going through. And this one is a willow, and there's willows there, so the link wouldn't, no way could go the other way. You just have to go follow that trail there. And then you would put a little wood here and tie a feather, little feather like some kind of feather like even caribou hair, and it keep moving around when it's windy. This one here. And this one, they just like cats, these lynx here, when they see something moving around, it's like rabbits can, they just go straight to that snare there. Make sure that it still go under, and make sure you don't go over, and make sure, and then when you get caught, these sticks or something, or they only get caught, it just choke itself really quick. I was about 14 years old, I guess, when our dad died, and I had to be a supporter. So what I learned from my grandfather, I learned how to set mink traps and fox traps, and I got a few of them, and we went down, me and my uncle Thomas, his name is Thomas Tungachuk, my uncle, we went down because we had lots of fish at Head Point. During summertime we had put lots of fish in the ice house, chars and all that kind of, and we went down to get some. I set 2 traps on, one at Iceberg, one at the shore of the, around the Beaufort shore, you know, and coming back I was lucky, I got 1 cross fox and 1 white fox. That was enough to buy 50 pounds of flour and lard and all this that we really need. We had quite a bit anyway. Our dad, he had an outfit from Peffers, they trust him, and we had lots of flour and this and that, but all the other things you need, I got it with the fur I sold it to the Hudson Bay, I think, or Peffers, I think, was paying better price. That was around 1939. From there I started trapping, and I never stopped yet. When the price went down like 35 cents a rat, shot rat, we just quit trapping altogether for a while. I started working. I got a job in Inuvialuit. I was trained to be a rock crusher, so before they put the rock crusher in the airport, I worked as an electrician helper, and I became a pretty good climber with spurs on, putting crossbars and putting live wires on up on it. Most of the ones going to the airport, we had to build like a big boxes and put rocks in it and put the tree up in there, and they had no drills that time, and I worked there for some time, and they had the rock crusher up on the airport, so they called me to operate the crusher. I was out to Waterman Lake around Edmonton, train how to run a big rock crusher. And there I worked at the airport here till I got injured. I crushed quite a few months there. First, the layer of the airport there, the one, the international airport there now, there's big boulders. They're just big boulders right underneath, and then we start crushing rock size of a 3-inch and lay that between the boulders, and after that we start crushing it to about 2-inch, the top layer, and just when we were just doing half an inch or something like that, I got hurt. It was October. It was stormy and raining and snowing. I slipped, and my arm, my jacket got caught in the conveyor belt, and I got injured. I got a broken arm, which I get pension for, but about $600-700 a month right now, life pension. I was one of the ones, being like a shift boss same time. I had a few fellas working with me at that big crush at the airport up here, and I did quite a bit of work there, and from there I still trap like Saturdays. Sometimes we don't work on Saturdays. Before that, before the crusher, no, crusher time was only summertime, fall time. And from there I couldn't work 8 hours a day because I had operation on the site to put graft on my arm and couldn't do heavy work. And I got a job at 512. They had schools right where Sam's school is. I worked there for a couple of years and just filling up the fuel stoves and bringing ice to the houses there. And I worked there 3 years, and somehow I get kind of lonely for trapping, and fur was getting to be a real good price. Like the lynx here, like this one here, the prices went up. Super A, the fellow that had the Super A was buying furs, and this size of a link here starts selling for about $300 each, and $400 or more for a big one like this one. So I start trapping there, and from there I never stop. I trap every time I get a chance. After working, maybe Saturdays when I start working like a janitor, or I was a chief caretaker same time when they opened up that Sam's school. Mr. North was a principal, and people were just transferred the kids the children from Tuck and Clavick and some other place like Sykes Harbor and Holman. They were staying at the hostels there, and I was one of the ones that opened up that being a chief caretaker, that Sam school. But I still trap on Saturdays. I go out. These were still selling for $400 a piece. I heard the Chinese were really buying them for real nice one, like this one here is a real good link we just caught yesterday on the snare. It's kind of silvery inside, and in the inside here is kind of not too yellow. They would cost about, if it's, this is not the number one, it's the number one, it's just like grayish like this one here. In the hair there. And I heard the Chinese is bidding $2,000 for a big one. They're still buying them out here, and the fur we sent last year was so low price, we kept them for that European auction. They're having the auction around 14th, I guess. You should be getting a fur check for some muskrats that we gave to the game warden. They give us advance like half a price, or just guess a half a price. You get $1 each for them, and in the Clavick they said they were getting $2.50 for short rats. I didn't know what company they sell their furs in auction sales. And there from there on, working as I moved to getting another job at Samuel Hearn, and I worked there about 5 years, and from there I kind of started getting tired, my operation on the side and arthritis in the back, so I quit being a custodial worker for the school there. I worked about 13 years, and seems like I worked for the government close to 30 years and get pension all right, but still high cost of living, it's a little hard to get along. From there, I started working for the CBC as a casual operator, like for Inuit program. And that time, I used to have a 2-hour program on Saturdays, which I get time and a half on Saturdays, and every day I work few hours, 8 hours, for about 10 years, I guess. And being in a morning shift, I was the only Inuit operator announcer helping Roger Group. In 2 years, we go on 6 o'clock in the morning shift at the old Trappers Inn there, right across the Eskimo Inn. They had a station there, and I get used to it for 2 years, waking up around 5 o'clock, going to work till about 8 hours a day, and I work there, and I still trap. I still go out to traps for lynx, and that time we're allowed to use lake hole traps. We had the number 4 trap, number 3 traps. I get quite a bit of them sometimes. Sometimes I get about 4 lynx, 5 link, and and about 4 or 5 minks at the same time. I was doing pretty good about a skidoo. I just cut it so much, and right now long ago they mostly see, sometimes they get bloody on the snare, it just twists it all over. So when you're handling it, you don't have to get clawed up. I mean, if you touch the claw a little bit, it really can cut you. They're really needle sharp. Oh! Cut a little bit on the hand. This is so when you pull it out, it'll be easier. They easy to link. Easy to skin these links when they're not fat. When they're fat, you gotta take the fat right off too. You know, the auctioneers, when they buy them on this fat little bit, they charge you for cleaning the skin part of it there. And this link caught in a snare, like they real good to eat, you know. In our Maumee people, Delta people, they originally come from, our grandparents come from Alaska. All my mother's parents, our dad's parents, they all come from Alaska. But some of them came from where there's links too, in close to Nome. So they like link meat. It's a white meat. It tastes like it's got no funny smell on it. Like it's just like turkey. It's a white meat. It's like owl. This gonna become like a. Once you skin the leg part, you just need to pull it. Sometimes you made a little hole there. I always do that. Some people, they don't hardly use a knife, just mostly the leg part like that. This is it. They always like to have this little red thing on. I don't know why I guess the Chinese like it. When it's fat, you have to use, this one is a fat one. I really like link meat, but I don't eat it anymore. I just get so used to the town foods. But they really good, you know. It's just like a chicken. It's tastes like a chicken, you know. It's really good meat, you know, white meat. You leave it for a while one day and they get really easy to skin. The ear part there, some people skin it. They skin that little thin bone right off. But I always leave it on because it's, I think the boys, they like to, you could take the skin right off like that, all right? That I just leave a little piece on like that, so so it could be any rabbit chickies. The Inuit all over from Alaska to Eastern Arctic, that's a cultural way. They were trained that way. My grandfather trained me the same thing. He said, you always cut the throat. And they always say, it's just a story, it's just Indians believe it too, you know. They said, if you cut the throat, it becomes another link somewhere.
With the trapping industry here in the north getting better, we hope that this type of lifestyle will continue to get better as well. We thank you for joining us. For TAMAPTA, I'm Lawrence Rogers.
We went back to the Delta and I trapped there again, and I never worked for a few years. That's before I worked for the CBC. I went out trapping. Price went down, and I figured to myself, might as well quit trapping. But still I go out springtime, like stake push-ups and furs and trap, go out shooting rats, just for fun of it. That's my hobby in a way. I like doing that. I was raised up like that. It's in my blood, you know.